OneAtlas Analytics Marketing Manager, and I will be the moderator during this webinar. We also have Lisa Leonetti, OneAtlas Data Marketing Manager, and Christoph Hoyd, OneAtlas API Product Owner, two of our in-house experts that we are excited to have with us today. So I'm going to go ahead and hand over to Lison.
Thank you, Joanna. Hello, everyone. My name is Lison. So today I will guide you through OneAtlas data presentation. The focus will be mainly on satellite imagery today. Then I will present to you 3 easy ways to access this data, and we will go through demos. And lastly, Christoph will introduce to our APIs. So let's have a look. OneAtlas data provides quick and easy access to premium imagery, layers, and analytics for a wide range of use cases. Our motivation behind the product, behind OneAtlas data, is to democratize the access to Earth observation data for users to create all possible use cases. So what are those? First, we have monitoring, which is the observation of a pattern over time. We have as well analysis, which is really interesting with satellite imagery because we can analyze the full spectral bands of the images. Then we have mapping. Earth observation data is really important for mapping because in our constantly evolving world, we need fresh data to update maps. And then we have machine learning. And machine learning is really expanding all the possibilities with geospatial data. Thanks to cloud technology and artificial intelligence techniques, now the possibilities are endless. These use cases can be applied for any market application. And we've seen over the last years, new markets such as insurance, finance, business intelligence, and so on. So it's really exciting. So let's have a look at a few application examples from our users. So first, we have this interesting environmental monitoring use case from a startup called MapAction in Mali. And they use satellite imagery to detect pollution over their cities and try to assess the root cause with archive imagery. We have another use case, which is supply chain verification. The startup is called Enveritas. They are a non-profit organization, and they use satellite imagery and train machine learning algorithm over the images to automatically detect smallholder coffee farms in remote areas. I personally see a lot of opportunities in the supply chain use cases in the future and a great role of satellite imagery for this. Then another environmental monitoring use case. RS Labs, which is based in Greece, is using satellite imagery to assess nature-based solutions in big cities. If you're not familiar with the concept of nature-based solutions, I encourage you to have a look at our handouts mentioned by Joanna. So it will be a quick start guide for you to access all our case studies. So you will be able to know more about those. And then we have Birdeye. Birdeye is an analytics company and also an authorized reseller of Airbus. And they use satellite imagery to track construction sites. So now that you have an overview of what you can do with Earth observation data and how some of our users are using it, let's have a look at what's in there. Here you have a snapshot of our OneAtlas data interface. Later on, I will give you a small demo of the product. So in OneAtlas data, you can find imagery, living library, and tasking. Living library is our archive offering, so the ability to look into the past, while tasking is the ability to collect new imagery everywhere. We have also layers, global background layers. We have the base map and digital elevation model. On the snapshot here, what you can see is the global base map. Lastly, we have a set of analytics which allows you to automatically detect and identify objects and changes. So let's start by imagery. In OneAtlas data, you can access Spot and Pleiades imagery. Spot has 1.5 meter resolution and is perfect for countrywide or big areas use cases. Pleiades, on the other side, with 50 centimeter resolution, is perfect for high precision mapping or object identification. You can use both sensors for archive and tasking. In the near future, we will also integrate other sensors. We will integrate Vision 1, another optical sensor at 87 centimeter resolution. It will be a great complement between Spot and Pleiades monitoring capabilities. We will also integrate TerraSAR-X, or radar sensor. It can acquire dataset from a range of 25 centimeter to 40 meter resolution and is independent for weather conditions. Lastly, we are very excited to integrate Pleiades Neo in OneAtlas data, which will provide to users a 30 centimeter resolution capacity and 6 spectral bands. So let's have a look at our archive content. Here you have an overview of our content heat map for the selection we call the Living Library. The Living Library is an immediate access to a premium selection of imagery. So this selection of imagery is curated by Airbus and only includes imagery with very low cloud cover and incidence angle. You can also access our full archive content up to 2012 for Pleiades and Spot sensors. As you can see here, we have a very dense content in this full archive selection because it is not curated. So you can find absolutely all acquired Pleiades and Spot images. You will find the link to this dynamic content heat map, which is available online on the quick start guide that will be sent to you over after the webinar. Lastly, this dynamic content is updated every day. Every day, we ingest thousands of new images everywhere in the world. So now I have a question for you. Last year, when we presented the first OneAtlas data launch webinar, we were interested in knowing in what areas were you interested, the US, Asia, and so on. And this year, we are really interested to know a bit more about what type of content are you most interested in.
So now we're going to launch our first flash question. Which areas are you most interested in? Urban areas, rural areas, countrywide coverage, specific sites for defense, maritime, oil and gas, or others? We're going to give you a bit of time to answer before we share the answers with the audience. We can see that you're answering. We're going to wait for another 5 seconds. And so we're going to stop the polls and share the results.
Thank you, Joanna. Okay, so I can see there is a neat preference for urban areas and specific sites. Well, neat, not that much. Actually, all the answers are pretty much similar. So rural areas are the least of interest here. So very interesting. Thank you so much for that. It will help you. It will help us to guide our content strategy in the future. Okay, so now let's move on to the tasking capability of OneAtlas data. So you've seen that you can access Spot and Pleiades archive, but you can also collect new imagery over your area of interest according to your need. If you want to choose your acquisition day, you can select the one-day offer. If you need to access useful information in an instant, OneNow is perfect. One plan will help you to obtain qualified coverage within an agreed time frame. And lastly, one series will provide you coverage on a regular basis. Once you acquired your new image or your new images, you can access it through the Living Library within 1 business day. Now, let's move on to the layers part. So here you have an overview of the base map global layer, which is using 1.5 meter resolution worldwide and 50 centimeter resolution in nearly 3,000 urban areas. All of this data are fresh and accurate. So we are refreshing our product every year, And as you can see here, with a very, very low cloud cover, and we tend to have absolutely none in most of the areas. Then we have WordM. WordM is a global digital elevation model that can be used as such or as well for author rectification with a WordM for author offer. Lastly, you can access analytics in OneAtlas. It's a selection of algorithms to be run on top of OneAtlas imagery, so that you can automatically detect cars, trucks, ships at sea, aircraft, infrastructure change detection, and soon you will be able to detect armored vehicles, land use and land use change, and very exciting, high accuracy map extraction with land use, building, and roads. If you want to know more about it, a webinar will be broadcasted on the 9th of July by my colleague Joanna. So now that you know what is in OneAtlas data, what are the capabilities you can access, let's have a look on how we can access those. So first, you can access it through our web user interface, OneAtlas data. You can as well access it through GIS software or directly through APIs. So now I have another question for you. What type of access are you interested in?
So now we're going to launch our second flash question. What type of data access are you most interested in? Web interface, application, be it mobile or tablet, GIS or API? I'm going to give you a bit of time just to answer. You can see you're answering now. We're going to give you 5 more seconds. Okay, thank you for your answers. Let's take a look at the results. So here we can see that GIS with 41% is the best results, followed by web interface with 29%, API with 23%, and applications 7%. Please, if you have any questions about any of the content, add them to the question panel. I'm going to hand back over to Liesel.
Thank you, Joanna. So now let's have a look at OneAtlas data user interface. So we will also have a quick overview of the mobile application, which can be also downloaded on a tablet. So here we are on OneAtlas data interface. Quickly, we are going to start by displaying the background layers for you to have a view. So here is a base map, here is a WordM. And now we are going to look into our area of interest. So we will go over New York today and start by using the AOI manager to draw an AOI. So you can either upload or draw a polygon. So here I'm going to draw a square. Select the Living Library catalog. And in there, you have access to our entire archive imagery. So you can filter it by resolution, cloud cover, incidence angle, and so on. And you can select between the Living Library or the full archive content. So you can see we switch from 200 items to more than 800. These items are not curated, so you can use a filter. Here, I'm going to look at the oldest image from March 2012, and then go back to the Living Library selection to access the freshest image over the area from May 21. So I'm going to stream it, and as you can see, within the Living Library, you can access within seconds full resolution imagery. So here we are using a Pleiad image over the city center of New York, and as you can see, we can see all the details in the image as we are zooming in over oil tanks. Once that you're happy with your choice, you can as well download the image. So let's have a look. So here I'm going to download the entire image I selected from the beginning. So you click on the cards and you can select different production options. So you can choose between pan sharpened, bundle, 8 bits, 12 bits, also bands and product formats and projections. And all of this will have an impact on the weight of the product and thus its price. So you have the information displayed on the top right corner. So here I selected my product, and once I'm good with it, I can place my order and I will be able to retrieve it in my data workspace once it will be processed. So in the meantime, I can use the order tracking module, which will help me to know where stands my product. So here I can see it's in progress, and I can see also the status of my other products. I can also use my usage panel, and this is really important to know about the consumption of the gigabyte subscription. So here you have access to how many gigabytes you have consumed out of the total, when started the subscription, when it will end, and lastly, you can use a simulator to plan ahead your consumption. So it's a great tool to have an overview of how much square kilometer you can consume. You can combine streaming and downloads, balance it, and have a look at what you can consume. So now let's go back to the ordered product. So I'm going to my data where I can retrieve my downloaded products. Since I have downloaded many products, I'm going to filter this selection. So I downloaded an image from the May 21. So I'm going to use the date as the filter. And here I can retrieve my products. Pleiades Imagery. I can zoom to target to go back to New York. So it's a big image I've downloaded here. And I can stream it again. So when you stream or use streaming links from the workspace, consumption is not deducted. You can, of course, download the product, which was the main purpose. And as well, you can use streaming links that will be introduced to you by Christophe afterwards. So they are the APIs access. So you can select any links to work on your own environment. Here, I'm copying the Pixel for Analytics links that I can paste afterwards. So now let's have a look at the mobile application. The mobile application is really basically the same than the web user interface, but designed for mobile use. So you receive notification. Here I receive a notification on my ordered products. So I can have a look at it. You can have a look at all the order status. How much did it cost? When was it acquired? And so on. And you can as well search the catalog. So here we are over Toulouse in south of France. And I can look into the archive content and stream, again, like in the web user interface, within seconds, the full resolution image. You can as well order the product. So that was for the web user interface. Now let's have a look at GIS, so Geographic Information System. So we've seen that you are really interested in this type of access. So how can you access OneAtlas data through those? You have two plugins available if you are using QGIS and ArcMap. But as well, you can directly from any GIS use the WMS or WMCS and WCS connection, as I showed previously, to copy the link and paste it into your own environment. Guides and tutorials are available on YouTube. So we have a OneAtlas YouTube playlist. We will give you all this information, and you can also find it on the developer portal. So let's have a look at QGIS first. So here I'm going to zoom over Wuhan in China. Use the OneAtlas plugin. So I'm going to select only Pleiades imagery and draw an area of interest. I'm going to search the catalog and open the attribute tables. So I'm going to filter to get the oldest image over the area from 2017 and display the image. So I'm going to rename the image to make it more convenient. Open the attribute table again, and this time use the first image. Once again, I display the image, rename it. So this one is from March 2020, so a pretty recent image. I can zoom over the image. Until I can see clearly cars. And so here I can display the March 2020 image and the December 2017 image to see that there is a lack of human presence here. So this is an example on how you can use our imagery in QGIS, but there are many more. So please have a look on our tutorials on YouTube. Now let's move on to ArcMap. So it's the same principle. First, you open the OneAtlas data plugin, which you can download from the developer portal. Draw an area of interest. So here we are over Barcelona. And we are going to search for the catalog. Once again, I only choose Pleiades imagery here, and I'm going to filter by acquisition dates, incidence angle, and cloud cover. So now I can search my area of interest. You need to input your API key. And here I have the full list of images available upon my criterions. So I'm going to select an image. So the footprint is displayed. I can select other ones. You have all the image information. And once you're happy with your choice, you can add the selected image to display it on a map. I'm going to zoom. And after, you can open the attribute table and start working on the data as you like. So thank you. That is all for the QGIS and ArcMap demo video. So now I have a last question for you. Which plugin would be the most useful for you?
So now we're going to launch our third and final flash question. Which plugin would be most useful for you? QGIS, ArcGIS Online, ArcGIS Pro, Other, or not applicable? We can see that you're answering. The answers are coming in. We're going to give another 5 seconds for you to answer. And now we're going to close the poll. Let's take a look at the results. So we can see that QGIS has 49%, ArcGIS Pro 26%, ArcGIS Online 14%, Other 8%, and not applicable 4%. If you have any other questions that you'd like to ask our panelists at the end, please start to note these in the questions panel now. I'll hand back over to Lison. Thanks.
Hi everyone, thank you Joanna. My name is Christophe. I'm the OneAtlas API product owner at Airbus. Today I will bring you a presentation of our API. But before presenting you the API offer, let's see what is an API, meaning Application Programming Interface. Why do people go to kayak website to buy a ticket? Because they know that they will get every information they need very quickly. This travel comparison website requests their availability to several flight companies with the parameters that were first set in its own interface. Results are collected automatically through a server-to-server communication and displayed harmoniously in single view. Every request to flight company are made through API. Now let's watch a short video introducing OneAtlas APIs to you. If you're using satellite imagery, you know how difficult and time-consuming it is to get insight or manage a large amount of data. With OneAtlas, we offer easy access to our premium satellite imagery, analytics, and thematic services. APIs are web-based tools creating dialogues between two machines that allow you to make easy connection with data and services. In other words, APIs offer you another way to access our services. They empower partners like you to better utilize satellite imagery and associated services, so you don't have to recreate what already exists. Save time and money by optimizing your workflows with our flexible APIs, which help maximize access to imagery and services. And if you need a solution for a mobile app, easily develop your own app with our API-based mobile SDK and access satellite imagery from anywhere at any time and with any device. Did this video give you ideas for your business? Let's have a look at a concrete example. Geocento is an Airbus authorized reseller. You can see their portal in this slide. They are providing images from different data sources. They have integrated our APIs, which give them the possibility to present our images on their own portal. On their portal, you just need to select an area of interest and you will get images from several providers. It is pretty similar to the previous kayak example. We provide different tutorials giving you the possibility to easily integrate OneAtlas API. Here is an example of tutorial video presenting you how to access the developer portal. This portal will give you the access to our documentation. If you want to integrate our images in your own tool, this video gives you an example of an API request to search images through different parameters. Here we can see that we select the coordinates, the format, the acquisition date. We have also the possibility to sort the results. And we can also choose the constellation. Then, once you have chosen an image, you may access a free quick look. You have also the possibility to stream images thanks to the WMTS protocol. This standard protocol was published by the Open Geospatial Consortium. Here we can see the request to extract a URL, the different parameters to choose, and an example of Python code integrating the request. The idea with this example was to see the evolution of fires in the forest. Here we can see the building of a large tiled image, and now a time-lapse over the AOI. Now, let's have a look at the OneAtlas API offer. Several APIs are available to better answer your needs. First, we have the Search API, enabling you to search images based on parameters. It will give you access to the whole Spot 6 and 7 and Pleiades catalog. The next API is the View. We give you the possibility to stream images through different protocols such as WMS and WMS, some protocols which are OGC compliant. The Pixel for Analytics API enables you to access imagery at a pixel level. This is a streaming API designed by Airbus to allow for an access to all images available in Live Imagery in a format optimized for analytics and with flexible access options. You can choose the band, the pixel, and different formats. The next family is the download. You will order a processed image and have the possibility to download it or access it in a private workspace. Different processing options are available. Then the tasking, which will enable you to submit a tasking request to get an image over an area of interest. This API will be soon available in the platform. And last, Analytics Toolbox presents you different analytics from our partners. Lisan presented a slide about this offer a few minutes ago. This API will return just the JSON file as a result. So you may access also this service through API. And the last item is the SDK, the Software Development Kit. It's a component enabling you to easily access images and layers in a mobile app. It presents ready-to-use method based on our API. You could be interested in this component if you want to build your own mobile app in Android or iOS platform. The OneAtlas mobile app is built thanks to this SDK. And last but not least, if you need any information, do not hesitate to visit our developer portal. This website offers you guides, tutorials, and code examples to integrate easily our APIs. And don't worry if you don't find the answer to your questions, you have also the possibility to contact our technical support team through this page. I now give back the floor to Joanna.
Thanks, Christophe. So just as a reminder, here you have an overview of the subscription packages. So we can see 5 distinct packages ranging from Discover through to Advanced, and Custom, which is available for those that need above 30 gigabytes. Please feel free to contact us for custom packages. So these packages are available via the OneAtlas portal. Now, we're going to go over to the Q&A. All right, so it looks like we have some questions that were asked during the webinar. Thanks. If you have any other questions, please add them now to the questions panel. We're going to look to answer as many as we can, but if we don't respond to your question, don't worry, we'll make sure to follow up with you after the webinar. All right, let's see. So, if you order many images, can they be delivered as a seamless mosaic?
Hi, Lison speaking. So for the moment, this is not available on the interface yet, but nevertheless, we may deliver the required mosaic on OneAtlas. So you can contact us. We can provide these capabilities, and it will be soon implemented in OneAtlas. So we'll let you know, of course, when it's available. The release will be communicated.
Okay, great. Thanks, Lison. Let's see. Will Airbus be shifting from GeoStore to OneAtlas in the future?
Okay. Yes, actually, Airbus is working on providing the best user experience on our platform. So we are currently working on the merging of our capabilities in the future. So yes, you will be able to access GeoStore capabilities in OneAtlas in the future.
Okay, so a question that we have from Andrew. Do you have a plugin for ArcGIS Pro?
No, we don't. So we have the ArcMap and QGIS plugin, sorry, but we are working on developing more plugins. So that's why we were interested in having your feedback. So as mentioned, in the near future, maybe you will be able to access it, but you can as well use the WMS, WMTS, and WCS connection directly to work on ArcGIS Pro so far.
Okay, next question from Richard. When selecting an imagery process option, such as 8-bit versus 4-bit, is the price represented in terms of the file size of the image in gigabytes, or is there an additional cost separate from the GB download that is shown in my usage terms?
Yes, correct. So when you select an image processing option, there's a processing option you select will have an impact on the weight of the product, and thus it is correlated to the price, right? Because we price per gigabyte. So as you've seen in the no, it's not in my usage panel. It's when you process the product, there is a price indication, a weight indication of the product, and this is to be taken into account. When you go to My Usage panel, the simulator you can use is a tool to guide you, but it's not based on each processing option. It's an average size for you to plan ahead. But of course, you can have access to all our combination weights for you to plan more accurately your consumption in the future.
So next question from Han. Can tasking be ordered at this time from OneAtlas?
So for the moment, when I started the demo on OneAtlas, as you can see, there are different capabilities. So the living library was demoed today. You have the analytics and also the tasking. And as for the moment, when you select the tasking option, it redirects you to the ordering tasking portal, GeoStore, which is currently being integrated in OneAtlas. So in the next months, you will be able to do it directly from the interface to have a fully seamless experience.
Next question from Mazigov. Is there an educational license?
Okay. So yes, we do provide education license, academic license, let's say. So don't hesitate to contact us to have more information.
So next question, do we use the same subscription packages with the APIs?
Hey, so thank you for the question. Yes, we are using the same subscription packages with the APIs. So you will be able to use on the one hand the user interface or the APIs, and the consumption will be the same.
Next question, where can I find the QGIS and ArcMap plugin downloads?
So you will be able to find the QGIS and ArcMap plugin downloads in the developer portal. We have sections if you're interested in the living library or the base map, and in the view sections you will find some links to download this plugin, and you will also find some tutorials to use them.
Okay, last round. If you have any other questions, please send them in now. Next question, how much is the subscription package?
Okay, so you can access it on the OneAtlas portal. So we have subscription pages for both Living Library and Analytics. So the price are available online. So please feel free to go there to have a look.
Next question, will you integrate Sentinel data?
Oh, good question. Actually, yes, it's planned in the roadmap to integrate Sentinel data. So hopefully next year we will access most of Sentinel available data in OneAtlas data. So it will be a great complement between commercial imagery and open source imagery. So really looking forward to that.
So next question that we have from Shabarish. I'm a student. I would like to download high-resolution data to build object identification algorithms for my project. How can I download these images correctly? Currently, we have satellite imagery data available. High resolution is low. However, the resolution is low, hence the accuracy of prediction is low. This is the reason why I would like input data set of high quality. What can we do for that?
Hi, hello. If you are a student, it might be difficult for you to buy a subscription on OneAtlas. So as I mentioned, there are academic license, which provide discounted prices for such use case. But on the other side, we have also another kind of dataset designed for this kind of usage. It's called the sandbox. So the sandbox and playground give you access to actually data sets which of high resolution that are designed especially for such usage to train algorithm. So please feel free to have a look at the sandbox. If you go to the OneAtlas portal, you have a direct link to this, and you will be able to request data sets to train your algorithm and maybe engage discussion with us about those.
Next question from Dodi. Can I use the whole high-res resolution playhead images as a background for the Esri portal?
Hi. So you can contact us to see how it can work. Yes, that might be possible. So feel free to contact us through the contacts that are displaying right now, and we will answer to you and provide dedicated support for that.
So it looks like we're out of time for today. As mentioned earlier, we'll follow up with the link to the recording of the webinar. We'll follow up with any questions that we didn't have the chance to answer during the webinar. Thanks for attending. Thanks to Lisa and thanks to Christophe for this presentation. Don't forget to register for the OneAtlas Analytics webinar that's coming up on July 9th. And we're looking forward to seeing you then. Thanks.